It is possible for a person who has had the experience of beingness, consciousness, bliss in meditation to then identify themselves with the body when out of meditation. But gradually, they will lose the identification with the body in the course of their practice. In the light of the self, the darkness of illusion dissolves forever. Experience gained without rooting out all of the mental tendencies cannot remain steady. Efforts must be made to eliminate the tendencies. Knowledge can only remain unshaken after all the tendencies are rooted out. We have to contend against age-long mental tendencies. They will all go, only they go sooner in the case of those who have practiced in the infinite past, and later for others. But when the sun rises, does the darkness go gradually or all at once? The degree of the absence of thoughts is a measure for your progress towards self-realization. But self-realization itself does not admit of progress. It is ever the same. The self remains always in realization. The obstacles are thoughts. Progress is measured by the degree of removal of the obstacles, to the understanding that the self is always realized. So thoughts must be investigated by seeking to whom they arise. So you go to their source, where they do not arise. Doubts are always arising. A doubt or thought arises, and it is cleared. Another arises, and that is cleared, making way yet for another, and so it goes on and on. So there is no possibility of clearing away all doubts or thoughts. See to whom they arise. Go to their source and abide in it. Stay there. Then they cease to arise. That is how doubts or thoughts are to be cleared. In the inquiry, who am I is the ego. The question really means, what is the source or root of this ego? You need not hold on to any particular attitude in the mind. All that is required is that you must give up the attitude that you are the body of such and such a description, with such and such a name. There is no need to have an attitude about your real nature. It exists as it always does, and as it always will. It is real and has no attitude. Self-inquiry is certainly not an empty formula, and it is more than the repetition of any mantra or prayer. If the inquiry, who am I, were a mere mental questioning, it would not be of much value. The very purpose of self-inquiry is to focus the entire mind at its source. It is not, therefore, a case of one eye searching for another eye. Much less is it an empty formula, for it involves an intense activity of the entire mind to keep it anchored in self-awareness. What is your real nature? Is it writing, walking, or being? The one unalterable reality is being. Until you realize that state of pure being, you should pursue the inquiry. Once you are established in it, there will be no further worry. No one will inquire into the source of thoughts unless thoughts arise. As long as you think I am walking or I am writing, inquire, who does it? To go on rejecting thoughts may be a stepping stone, but really, inquiry begins when you cling to yourself and become free of the mental movements and the thought waves. Self-inquiry is not intellectual. It is an inner quest. Holding the mind and investigating it is advised for a beginner. But what is mind after all? It is a projection of the self. See for whom it appears and from where it rises. The I thought will be found to be the root cause. Go deeper. The I thought disappears, and there is an infinitely expanded I consciousness. Be what you are. There is nothing to come down or to become manifest. All that is necessary is to lose the ego. That which is always there. Even now, you are that. You are not apart from it. The space that you experience is seen by you. You were there to see the space. What do you wait for? The thought, I have not seen, the expectation to see, and the desire of getting something are all the workings of the ego. You have fallen into the trap of the ego. The ego says all these things, not you. Be yourself and nothing more. Once born, you reach something. If you reach it, you return also. Therefore, leave off all this verbiage. Be as you are. See who you are. And remain as the self. Free from birth, going, coming, and returning. Knowing the self means being the self. Can you say that you do not know the self? Though you cannot see your own eyes, and are not provided a mirror to look into? Do you deny the existence of your own eyes? Similarly, you are aware of the true self, even though the true self is not objectified. Or do you deny yourself because it is not objectified? When you say, "I cannot know the self," it means absence in terms of relative knowledge, because you have been so accustomed to relative knowledge that you identify yourself with it. Such wrong identity has forged the difficulty of not knowing the obvious self because it cannot be objectified. And then you ask, how is one to know the self? Your duty is to be, and not to be this or that. "I am that I am" sums up the whole truth. The method is summed up in the words, "Be still." What does stillness mean? It means destroy yourself. Because any form or shape is the cause of trouble. Give up the idea that I am so-and-so. All that is required to realize the self is to be still. What can be easier than that? Release it all in an instant, like dropping a heavy load from one's shoulders. Hence, self-knowledge is the easiest to attain. The truth of oneself alone is worthy to be scrutinized and known. Making it the target of one's attention, one should eagerly know it in the heart. This knowledge of oneself will be revealed only to the consciousness, which is silent, clear, and free from activity of the agitated and suffering mind. Know that the consciousness, which always shines in the heart as the formless self, I, and which is known by one being still, not thinking about anything, as existent or non-existent, also alone, is the perfect reality.